In this video, we will cover some of the eye tracking settings that may be useful to you. To begin, we will show the menu bar. You can either press the Escape key on the keyboard or go to Settings and select the Show Hide menu bar. Now that we can see the menu bar, click on Menu to open the drop-down menu. Then click on Settings. Here you can click in the search bar to search for a specific setting. We will click on Access to find the eye tracking settings. On the left-hand side, we will click on Eye Tracking to get to the eye tracking settings. Here there are three main categories of different settings you might need to use: Select, Indicator Options, and External Zoom. Let's start with Select. Most of the time, someone will use Dwell Selection. This is when a person looks at the button for a certain amount of time in order to get it to select. The other options are selecting by blinking and selecting using a switch. These are more rarely used, but these are options you can turn on by changing the indicator. Under Dwell Selection, you can set a dwell indicator if someone needed that. Here are all of the different options as follows. The dwell time is the amount of time an individual needs to look at the button in order to select it. Right now it is set at 0.8 seconds. You can press the minus or plus arrows or use the slider bar. If repeat dwell is on and it says yes, that means that someone can look at the same key and have it repeatedly select. If you turn it off and have it say no, that means that someone has to move their eyes from a specific key in order to select again. Let's go down to dwell memory time. Dwell memory time is useful for someone who might have a hard time holding their gaze on a specific spot, like someone with nystagmus. This allows someone to start looking at a key and then look away from that key and still be able to return to that key without the dwell time getting reset. Show more dwell times would allow someone to set different dwell times for different things, such as for phrases, word predictions, and keyboard keys. There is already that setting allowed in iWorld itself, which we can take a look at shortly. Indicator options give us the visual and auditory cues when selecting or pointing at a cell. For show, you can choose when pointing or when selecting. When pointing will allow us to see where we are looking. These are all of the different options that someone could have when they are looking at a cell. The standard that we have it set at is an orange border. You have the option to enlarge the cell and the option to turn on a sound when selecting. You can hide the mouse pointer, which is preferable, so that an individual doesn't get stuck watching. And finally, we have external zoom. External zoom actions are specific to Windows Control and computer control. Magnification is how much zoom there is when an individual selects click to zoom. The speed indicates how quickly it zooms in to click on the screen. Mouse pointer is the option to have an indicator when someone is selecting with zoom to click. Lastly, external dwell jitter margin allows to set a wider or smaller range that an individual has to hold their gaze in order to start a selection in Windows Control. On the settings page here, once we hide the menu bar, you can see different options for regular dwell time, keyboard dwell time, and predictions dwell time. We can set these to be different. Have the predictions dwell time be a little bit longer, so an individual has time to look at the words before selecting them. You can always search for an I-access method setting by clicking in the search bar and typing I and getting a result. It will take you right to where you need to be. Click OK and hide the menu bar. To change the access method, we click on Menu, click Choose Access Method, and then click Eye Tracking. You can click Show Hide Menu Bar, and they can continue to use the system.